Ladies and gentlemen, this really does feel like the end of a journey, because justice has finally been served, and it is absolutely catastrophic for all parties involved. 4 months ago, I called Yiheng Wang's 0.78 second average the Armageddon of 2x2. And it was. It made the world record basically unachievable, of course sparking controversy for months on end because of his use of the sliding technique, which illegally saved 0.15 seconds on every solve of that average. And while the recent decisions made by the board have been quite shocking, this one that just dropped on October 25th is the new Armageddon of the cubing world. Because you see, sliding isn't just something Yiheng was doing. It was seen way before all this controversy went down. There just weren't enough world-class results to where it actually called into question whether or not there was anything suspicious going on. And at that time, sliding wasn't even something that had ever been penalized before, mainly because legally, there was, of course, no way to accuse anyone of it unless it was egregiously obvious and could be caught in real time. Frame-by-frame analysis wasn't even allowed to be used in decisions like this, and for the most part, there weren't any major cases where timer starts were called into question until Yiheng's 0.78 world record. Obviously, it was a huge drop from the previous world record, that goes without saying, but what wasn't quite so obvious at the time was the absolute floodgate Yiheng's case had opened, and one that doesn't just pertain to his 2x2 solves either. As we know, initially there was no response from the regulations committee regarding Yiheng's apparent violation of the rules, and people were getting impatient until September 27th, when, if you were there, you know just how bad it got, to the point where a petition to overturn the ruling made by the board gained thousands of signatures. They of course kept Yiheng's 0.78 world record average, stating that frame-by-frame analysis would be used from then on to accuse sliding, but not retroactively, meaning that the average he got 4 months ago couldn't be penalized nor any results recorded before the decision was made. You can start to see why so many people were up in arms about this. How could the world record ever be beaten if it was just achieved with a technique that has been labeled as cheating and clearly violates the regulations? Since that fateful day of September 27th, the community has been in absolute unrest over this decision, and hope seemed all but lost. On top of this, Yiheng had the luck of catching 0 breaks in the midst of these allegations and all the controversy, getting a 3.27 on October 20th that would have placed him second in the world and was the closest solve we've ever seen to the world record, but there was a problem. Directly after the solve, he picked up the cube he had just solved instead of his warm-up cube, violating yet another regulation which states that turning the cube he accidentally picked up would disqualify the solve. So at this point, Yiheng already had his world record 2x2 average nearly removed, and his 3.27 completely cancelled, along with a large plate of controversy to go with it. The problem is, all of these allegations were completely warranted. Anyone who watched the footage of either of these solves would know that. It was just, as you can imagine, probably a lot for a 10-year-old to be thinking about. It's only what comes with being the best in the world, but what came next was something that I personally, someone who's already made 3 separate videos about this whole controversy, did not see coming. Because on the evening of October 25th, 2024, the WRC came out with a follow-up statement pertaining to the ruling that made everyone grab their pitchforks in the first place. And it all started with Yiheng Wang's 0.78 world record average finally being penalized. It is now a 3.47 second average, because they actually gave him a plus 4 second penalty on 2 of the solves for not only sliding on the start, but him also continuing to hold the cube while stopping the timer. Now, after me mentioning that, if you know anything about Yiheng's 2x2 times, you might say, well, he still has a 0.9 average, which is faster than Zain Kanani's former world record, right? Well, no, because that average has also been penalized, and it is now a 1.04, because they only penalized his third solve, a 0.49, originally good enough for third in the world. But now that solve alone is a 4.49, again getting the plus 4 penalty, which completely changed the results, and now moved Yiheng's PR 2x2 average back to 0.92, which is still a world record, but it is now tied with Zain Kanani, who originally did it back in March before Yiheng. But this didn't only affect Yiheng's 2x2 solves. The fallout of this investigation has ended in a way that I really did not see coming, because not only is Yiheng's 3.27 he just got a week ago of course disqualified, but his next fastest time, his 3.38 that kept him at second in the world, has also been penalized, making it a 5.38. So Yiheng's PR 3x3 single is now a 3.47, meaning that he is 4th in the world. That's right, Max Park, Luke Garrett, and Aaron Wen are all faster than Yiheng Wang in terms of 3x3 single. And Yiheng has not broken his PR in 8 months. And in fact, if Yiheng doesn't break 3.47 by November 24th, Yu Shengdu's 347 Asian record will have technically never been broken for over 6 years. But what's crazier to me is that the difference between Yiheng's PR single and average is now just 0.62 seconds. So the, Yiheng's PR single isn't even good for him propaganda is officially here to stay. And of course, it goes without saying that Yiheng wasn't the only one getting penalized here. The rule of frame-by-frame analysis was also applied retroactively to solves done by others. But like Carter says here in the post, please don't go harass them or anything, even though I have already made 3 separate videos harassing a 10-year-old child. Just don't overstep your bounds, alright guys? So from now on, all illegal timer starts will be penalized. Apparently, frame-by-frame analysis can't be used to look at timer stops, for some reason. You can actually send in recorded solves now if there is any suspicion or allegations or anything like that, but 2x2 is finally an event again where the world record is obtainable. And in fact, is held by someone other than Yiheng Wang, at least half of it, because as Jackson says, we won, we actually did it. Anyway, I really hope I can move on with my life after this, but if my next video is in fact about Yiheng Wang, then so be it. But it'll probably be about a 7-year-old who is probably faster than you. You're really still out here in 2024 after me putting in all of this work to harass a 10-year-old, and you're not even subscribed to the channel, so what are you doing at this point? Yeah, besides that, that's about it. See ya.